As a medium, I connect people to their departed loved ones in heaven. This may seem obvious, but the truth of what really happens in a reading is the validating messages lead to healing. These are transmissions of love that continue to grow and continue to serve and fill our voids long after the reading. I wanted to share with you that my team and I have released several dates for group readings. These are holy experiences because we gather together to heal together. We gather one or more in my name, as God says, to praise and give thanks and to receive and fill up. These events, called Heaven Now, are limited seating, and I've done this for a reason. The guidance has been to keep them small and really be able to hone in and deeply go where Spirit is bringing me, where God is bringing me, to have each person have a very holy experience. So we've made these intimate experiences. They will be at my home. We do have one event that will be virtual right now on the calendar. Heaven Now is available. Tickets are on my website. The link is going to be in the show notes. And I hope that you will lean into what this looks like for your life. What could be possible for you to receive that much love so you enter the holiday season all fresh and new, not worn out, not exhausted, because that's what happens. We fill our cup from within, and then you will not find yourself over giving during the holidays. You will be really stable and confident and stand in that place of this feels right and good because you'll have that love within you.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
I created these Miracle Minute podcast sessions to lean in with you, to help you to stay continuous in your spiritual journey, your discovery of God in your life, and to be a guidepost for you in really upping that spiritual routine that you're in. I know that these little sessions are chock full of yumminess and just high frequency energy. They're love nuggets. Let's dive in to today's Miracle Minute podcast. Thank you for signing up to be a little guest and do a reading with me for the podcast. I really appreciate it.
I'm so excited.
So the first thing I like to tell people is I'm a God-based medium. What that means is I stay in alignment with what God wants us to know. I don't do anything scary or anything prediction type. I do receive in my language and my vocabulary. That means if something comes through and doesn't sit with you, we'll stay around it until it does. And you can ask questions at any time because it's a two-way conversation. All right.
Okay.
So right away, like, I feel like you do have like a little bit of agenda. I want to acknowledge that. I want to know, like, they're showing me like you have places you want to go. So I get that you want some answers, they're saying, which I really like. I also, the first thing I'm getting is like, I get like an acidic stomach, and then I get like this, they're bringing it into my throat. Like I have a hard time. Like I almost want to like clear my throat, and it's scratchy and dry. And so I feel like this is the male figure that's coming forward. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like there are words needed to be said that were left unsaid while he was here. Do you understand that?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Is this your father or a father-like figure?
Actually, I think it's my mom, but she was sort of masculine. She was a heavy smoker.
Oh, okay. I still get a male figure, but that's
really?
Okay.
So maybe
Yes.
I'm wrong. So maybe I have to think about it. Maybe it was my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Ed.
And he was tall?
He was taller than me.
Yeah.
He's not extraordinarily tall, but unless it was my cousin Bill.
I get
That
tall and I'm getting like tall and thin.
that might be Bill. That sounds like my cousin. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
he
And
was.
he
Yeah,
left pretty abruptly.
yeah. Well, he was doing drugs and stuff for a long, long time. We had all tried to
Mm.
help him, and it just it just back and forth, and eventually he ended up being found behind like a 7-Eleven type convenience store,
Mm.
dead next to a bottle of whiskey,
Abruptly. So
Yes.
yeah, he comes through first. Again, like that acidic tone. I get it in the throat. I get that there were words unsaid. Um, I feel like what he wants to come through as a peacemaker now. It's what he's been working on since he's been gone, because he created so much havoc in
Oh,
life,
yeah.
and it's his mission now, like to be in the peacemaker within relationships, within family. Again, like there's no interfering with free will, but he does lend himself to that type of healing, which I think is really beautiful for his soul, since he lived in like a tormented place.
He did. It was really sad. We all tried really hard to help him, but
Yeah. So
at the end of the day,
yeah, the words that went unsaid were like the thank you and being grateful and the I love you and I see you, and actually being a part of a relationship instead of always being on the taking end, because he was suffering so much. And he's not making an excuse for himself, but he was just showing me like, because I was in this suffering space, like I didn't even see how much I was taking from relationships.
yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah.
It was hard.
And your
Mhm.
mom, she comes through really loud and clear to let me know, like, one, I, she's like, I am standing, like, just telling my daughter, like, I'm standing really like upright, and that I, like, everything is good. Everything is like moving, and there's no like cricks. um, so she's just showing me like being able to function, where I feel like at the end for her, there was not, she really relied on everyone else, and it was really hard.
It was really hard. Hmm.
Hard on everyone, even like on
Hmm.
her, like having to have
Hmm.
that experience. And she's like, oh, talk about vulnerability. Like,
And she was not somebody who wanted to be vulnerable ever.
no, she's like, you just, and it's like, it's that saying, God has a sense of humor, and like everything has to be cared for. And there's just like, I couldn't even say no. I couldn't, push
No,
it away. I
she was
needed it.
too weak. And she couldn't walk. She couldn't stand straight up. She had a
Okay.
couple vertebrae fused. She was a
Oh,
nurse, and
okay.
she had you know, and then she had cancer, and she really suffered for a couple of years, and whew, the last 8 or 9 months was just awful.
Right. So
Awful.
I feel like her way of coming through too is like, wow, you've had some big suffering in the family, is to show like, one, like there's complete healing on the other side, in the veil, and to know that they're with you and in their whole selves, not in their partial selves, like they're not in the old way. And your mom is like, um this is a really, what's the word she's using, like she's giving me this feeling like this is the instructive time. This is a time of like nurturing and leaning in to like becoming more and more you. Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like? If it's therapy, if it's a class, if it's an exploration, it's like more and more and more and more of that. Like, that's what she's showing me, like so big for you. um do you have questions?
Um, well, no, I mean, the thing on my mind right now is that I just got a promotion, which is really cool. I just interviewed and got a promotion, and I just like to kind of check on that because it's in a little different area than where I am currently. I just hope it's not too overwhelming.
Your work, you mean?
Yes, my work. Yep, I just got a promotion at work.
Well, I
So
feel like this is you being a really good manifester, you manifesting like more abundance. And so when you manifest more abundance and then look it in the eye, like, is this really what I wanted? It's
yeah.
kind of interesting, right? Um, but you were asking for it, and so therefore you received it. And this is why I really love you even more, exploring like all the depth of who you are, like really getting clear on this gift. And your mom says it's almost like getting a handle on it. It's like knowing, okay, this is really where I'm supposed to go, but you really can't get there unless you pour the time and the energy and the effort and the resources into developing that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And she's right. That's right. So I kind of have to take this next step to get to where I really want to go, in my
Mm-hmm.
career. I'm just a little nervous about it for some reason, but I'm sure I can handle it. I guess it's the unknown.
Oh, always the unknown that
Yeah.
scares us, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
no, I feel
excited though
like,
too.
yeah, I feel like you're good at manifesting those experiences. So just remember that you get to be grateful, you get to show up, you get to be like, all right, well, this is what I've asked for, and now I'm going to be here, and like feel it out. Like, what does it feel like to be there?
Right.
Is it
Yeah.
hard? If it gets hard and it doesn't feel like it aligns with you, that's okay too, because then you can be like me, maybe more clear, have more clarity to lean in, like, who am I? What is it that I really want? Because I think the focus sometimes just gets to be like just a career, just climbing this ladder to go nowhere. Like, it's like, where is it going to bring you?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
like, we think it's going to be a destination, but it's really about the joy and the happiness in the playfulness in the now. And if you're experiencing that with this job, yes, all in. I'm all
Yeah,
in.
I do a lot of times. We work hard, but we play hard. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we have a lot of fun. This group, oh my gosh, it's a lot of fun. Um, and that really bonds the team a lot too, going and
Yes,
doing all these things together. But yeah, so
that's
that's the thing
awesome.
too. I know what I'm doing now, and I'm comfortable in my space, and I've made a name for myself, and I'm good. And so changing that is hard. It's scary a little bit because
Yeah,
they
it
still
is.
know me, but it's a different area still. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah. Well, your mom is telling me that she's blessing it. It's like, it's all good. It's all been blessed. And it's just, again, that like, can I have fun? Can I lean into it? And, when we get structured and tight in our energy, that's when it gets hard, because then we're overthinking and overcomplicating. Like, this
mhm,
just, it already is, right?
yeah. And
Hmm.
so yeah, so doing that. Then what else we have going on? Trying to think. There's always so much. It's crazy. There's a lot. I could talk for hours. um, I check on my kids. I check on my kids a lot.
I feel like you've done a really good job at like creating a safety net for them to return to, and then a place knowing that they can be their own people, right? Their own experiences, like to have their own experiences and not to feel like, you're trying to control or change any of those things, where that's what your mom kind of taught you. She tried to control a lot of things while she was here, and you don't do that. And I think that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I feel like that's
Thank
what
you.
she's showing. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And I
Makes
love
me
that
teary.
your cousin came through,
Yeah.
because I feel, look, he didn't get to really show you his true light when he was here, and now he can. And that's glorious. Like, he can be with you, he can be with your kids, and he gets to be the peacemaker in the places where there isn't that going on.
Well, the funny thing is with him, he's the oldest. This is my mom's nephew,
Okay.
and their family was pretty close. There were 6 siblings. My mom was the youngest, and Billy was the oldest of all of the cousins. And you know, all were together a lot when we were growing up, and it was really hard to see him go through that and to
Yes.
experience that. And
Mhm.
then when he passed away, I was the one who ended up getting his memorial together, and I did all of that and
Mm.
got everybody. I had his ashes at my house. His mom passed away recently, my mom's sister, Aunt Betty, and we had her service, and then we buried them together. So I've had his ashes for 4 years.
See how I love then how he's coming up too, because look, it's just, he's showing gratitude for you. He's being there for you and honoring. And that's really, really beautiful. I mean, really beautiful what you did.
Well, it was kind of interesting because there were so many of us, and then it ended up being me. This just really weird. I thought it was very interesting. I
Yeah.
was like, how did this happen? And I was
Right.
really upset with him because when my mom passed away, we were all there. We all went. We knew she was dying. We went to we were all at the hospital. He was there. His mother was there. Everybody, the whole family. And um, he made a really crappy comment to me, and I left the room. And right when I left the room, she died.
Mm. And so
So
there's the peacemaker coming through again, right? This to make the peace between you and him, to make the peace.
yeah. So
Mm.
and then I went back in. And the weird thing about it, and I know that sometimes people have a hard time passing when certain people are in the room. So we did notice that myself, my sister, and my stepdad all were out of the room at the same time. And we had all been in this room for a week, like
Yeah.
off and on, going in.
And maybe she just didn't want you to have that experience
And,
because of whatever reason.
yeah. And so that kind of got me through that without having resentment or anything. I was upset with him at first, though, because,
Yeah, of course, you're
you
human.
know,
Why,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but I've always loved his kids too. When I was young, when he had his children, I was 13, 14, 15 years old. He had a couple kids, and I used to babysit them a lot. Like they were like my children. I loved them because I was
Mm,
young and I didn't have experience with babies, and I loved them so much that they were my first babies, And so
yes.
that his children came out for his memorial that I set up for him, for him, and that was really lovely. Um, because of his drinking and drugs and everything, he lost custody of his kids. And so it was really wonderful that they came, I
Yes.
felt.
Yeah. Well, Linda, thank you so much for sharing this time with me and your loved
Thank
ones.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a really beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.